Thank you, Your Worship. Now, we have a couple of inspirational speakers for you tonight. And the first one, as the Mayor has already signalled, is Dr. Sean Simpson, the co-founder of LanzaTech. Now, I cannot think of a better company in New Zealand or the world to be speaking at this sort of occasion. And I was talking to Sean before and said, well, so who was it in LanzaTech who came up with a brilliant idea of creating biofuels out of greenhouse gas emissions? And he said modestly, well, actually it was me. So this is the man who's created LanzaTech, and it is a global exemplar company. It's getting as much venture capital money as the rest of New Zealand just about put together. Just a bit about Sean's background. I think it does bear presenting it. So he was awarded the Innovator of the Year in 2014. He's the co-founder and chief scientific officer of LanzaTech, and he leads the development and commercialisation of LanzaTech's core technology. Since its inception in 2005, Sean has led the company to secure numerous rounds of venture capital funding, significant commercial and technical partnerships with leading global organisations, and government R&D grants. Dr. Simpson's leadership has encouraged collaboration between biologists, fermentation specialists, process and design engineers and business development teams to develop the technology in the company to become a global leader in biofuel development. He has been a director of the Icehouse Auckland Business Incubator since June 2012. He holds a PhD from York University, UK, and a master's degree from Nottingham University, UK, and is the author of over 20 publications and numerous patents. Please welcome Sean Simpson.
And I need to lose weight. Your Honour, Your Worship, Your Majesty the Mayor, Lords and ladies and gentlemen, it's an enormous honour for me to be asked to speak at this. The launch of something that I think is both bold and necessary. It seems bold now. In the future, it will not seem bold. It will seem inevitable. The targets in future will not seem lofty. They will seem achievable. Because what we try to invent today, and the way we try and think about how we're going to achieve CO2 reduction, is based on how we see the world today and what is available to us today. But we're talking about a target in 2040. The world will be a very different place in 5 years, in 10 years, and that which will be available to us to reduce CO2 will be much greater. Our tools will be much greater. And so I actually think 40% by 2040 is an eminently achievable goal, and one that will be trivialised within the next 10 years. So, but without a plan, you have no plan. Without a start, you never started. I'd like to just read something that I found really surprising. This is something from the New York Times this week. It was written by Henry Paulson, who, of course, you all know as being the Secretary of the US Treasury during the Bush administration. So this guy's an arch Republican, and he presided over the US Treasury whilst he was watching the economy go down the toilet. There is a time for weighing evidence and a time for acting. And if there's one thing I've learned throughout my work in finance, government and conservation, it is to act before problems become too big to manage. For too many years, we failed to rein in the excesses building up in the nation's financial markets. When the credit bubble burst in 2008, the damage was devastating. Millions suffered, many still do. We're making the same mistake today with climate change. We're staring down a climate bubble that poses enormous risk to our environment and economy. The warning signs are clear and growing more urgent as the risks go unchecked. This is a crisis we can't afford to ignore. Now, if there's a climate crisis skeptic or an organisation that is synonymous with climate crisis scepticism, it probably is the Republican Party in the US. And therefore, to hear a statement like that, or read a statement like that from someone like Henry Paulson, you realise that there is no longer a question of if around the climate crisis. Atmospheric CO2 levels, as everybody knows, have already risen beyond 400 ppm. Humans have never lived on Earth with CO2 levels at this high level. People believe that within a couple of generations, CO2 levels could get beyond 250 ppm, and that is when human health impact starts, and people actually start suffering from in a health way. The question, therefore, is not a question of if; it is a question of what we can do. What can we do? And therefore, I'm very proud to see this council taking a strong initiative. As I said, 40% by 2040 is a great start, but one I am confident will be trivialised within 10 years. Climate change in many ways provides an imperative for us to reinvent, reset, renew the way we live. We have to think imaginatively. We must be far-sighted. We must take bold decisions in terms of our built environment, transport systems, and our municipal infrastructure. But in my view, perhaps most importantly, is a chance to assess what we value. Therefore, smart business models that recognise and support the value of living in an increasingly carbon-efficient world, an increasingly environmentally positive way, must be supported and will become the norm. The price of not acting now cannot be borne by anyone. So, in this plan, I congratulate them. Thank you.